Will you make it through the coming crisis? Hey everyone, welcome back to Homestead Corner. I'm Jenny, and today I want to talk a little bit about the coming crisis and what that means for a lot of people. Globally, there are so many problems with shortages, supply chain issues, the weather. There are just so many issues globally that are going around. And inflation is another one. The prices are constantly rising, and the Fed are about to announce another rate hike. 0.75 is what I'm hearing. It could be zero point 0.5, but every time they have done a rate hike in the last 6 months or so, we are seeing more and more inflation. And this is going to price more people out. They are not going to be able to afford things as prices continue to rise. More and more people are going to be going without. Food pantries are struggling. They do not have enough donations coming in because people don't have the money to donate like they were, yet more and more people are lining up to get food and help. Unfortunately, they're not getting as much help as they used to because they are spreading it out thinner and thinner. But people that need help should be getting help, and you should be going. As things start to get more and more difficult for you to make ends meet, I think it's important for you to get what you can to make sure that you are okay and your family. The majority of people are not prepared for what is coming. They're not prepared to grow their own food. They don't have any intentions. Most people don't even see that there's anything wrong, unfortunately. They don't see that, the shortages in the stores. Well, they're getting fixed. Everything's going to be okay. The government will take care of me. The state's not going to let me go without. Well, if they can't get it for themselves, they definitely can't get it for you. And I think that is an important thing for people to start understanding, is that if the supplies are not there, or if the supplies are so expensive that no one can afford them, we really need to be prepared to take matters into our own hands. Growing your own food is probably the most righteous thing you could do, really. And making sure that you can take care of you and your family. People that aren't prepared for what's coming are a lot of people are not going to make it. They depend on going to the store to get food. Many people, they are just working their lives away. They have no idea what's going on. They have a fairly decent income and they stop and buy food every day. They have nothing in their homes. Maybe a bottle of ketchup or a couple of condiments, but a lot of people don't keep any food in their homes and they're not prepared. If something happens and the store closed tomorrow, those people are going to be starving. They don't have water stocked up. They don't have anything stocked up. A lot of people don't have their next meal in the house. They are totally dependent on being able to go out and get whatever they want. And we've been very fortunate. That's been a way of life for a lot of us for a long time. We need to change and be flexible and be prepared for when the grocery store isn't there, or the stuff that's at the grocery store is so expensive that we cannot afford it. Every time I go to the grocery store, I'm seeing prices rise and rise and rise, and it's hurting a lot of people. I do notice the cheaper foods, the ones that are staying lower, those are the ones that are gone all the time. The more expensive foods are sitting on the shelf and staying there because people can't afford it. And they are having to, they buy the cheaper food and they're having to get help. And times are getting tighter and tighter, and they're going to continue to get worse. And we need to be prepared to take this into our own hands. Stocking up for emergencies and things like that is really, really important. And I think everybody should have a good pantry stockpile. Everybody should have that. And we should have long term staples in our homes to fall back on. when our pantry starts to dwindle. If the grocery store closed tomorrow and we only have our pantries, if you went into your pantry today and looked at it realistically, how long could you go? With those pantry staples, if you are able to forage and grow food, adding to what you have through the disaster is definitely going to help you. Knowing what to eat out in the woods. Many people will go out there and try to eat things and die from eating poisonous foods. Lots of stuff in the woods is not safe to eat, or anywhere that they may go looking for food, whether it's the woods, parks, whatever, it may not be safe to eat. It may look good. They may think it's something that they can eat, but if you're not prepared for actual foraging, then you're not going to be sure, and you could be taking your own life into your hands. So making sure to learning those foraging skills now, testing stuff out, if you know someone that forages, I am 100% sure they would be more than happy to take a walk with you and show you a few things that they are 100% sure are safe to eat. And many things are right in your lawn. If you don't have one of those fancy grassed lawns, I mean, we have what naturally grows, and it's definitely not the prettiest lawn in the world, but there's lots of food in there and it just naturally grows there. So having that to add, if all you've got is rice and beans in your pantry, you can add things that you find. Your stockpile is not going to last forever. In a long-term situation, you are going to have to raise your food or forage for it. One or the other, both if you can, would be ideal, because growing all of your own food, especially if you have a large family, is difficult. Getting them involved in it is super important. Your picky eaters, you're going to want to get them used to some other foods. I have spoiled kids too. We all do. They love certain things. They want those certain things. Whether you have a kid that only wants to eat chicken nuggets and French fries, or they want, quick, easy stuff they can throw in the toaster. I have one kid that loves hot dogs and bologna, but that's not always something that we're going to be able to get. And they need to know that one day those little things may be gone. It may be something they like today, and we try to use them sparingly in our meals because it's not something that's going to be continuous. Mixed into those people that are unprepared are always the lunatics that think, I don't need to prepare because I'll just take it from someone else. There's always that lunatic out there, and they think that this is acceptable behavior. They got a chip on their shoulder. They think everyone owes them everything. And they're just going to they don't need to get ready because they'll just take it. So we also need to be prepared for that. And many people don't think that that can happen, but it can. And I believe that it will. People will lose their minds and do things that are totally unacceptable in order to save themselves and their families, and they're not going to care about anybody else. We don't have the society that they had back in the Depression where neighbors took care of neighbors, unfortunately. Some places we do have that. I'm super lucky. We have great neighbors. We all have very similar mindsets, and we all care about each other. But I know not everybody has that. I've lived in the city. I know how people are. I didn't know most of my neighbors when I lived in the city. I had places I lived, I didn't know anybody because it wasn't that way. People are they're doing their thing. They're not paying attention to anybody else. With everything going on, we all need to be super flexible to make it through all of this craziness that's coming towards us. We are just going to have to be as flexible as humanly possible to get through and use the skills that we have. Learn as many skills as you can. They will be invaluable. I really believe so. And that is it for today. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.